Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the vastness of knowledge? Whether it's science, history, or even spirituality, the amount of information can feel endless. The Quran is no different. Its wisdom is deep, layered, and timeless. Many people hesitate to approach it, thinking they need hours of study or advanced knowledge to benefit. But here's the truth. You don't need to take it all at once. Even a single verse a day can transform your life. One verse may seem small, but it carries more weight than we realize. The Quran itself says, "Indeed, this Quran guides to that which is most just and upright." Surah Al-Isra 17:9. Notice the language. It guides. Guidance doesn't need to come in bulk. Just one verse, when understood and applied, is enough to guide you through a whole day of decisions. Think of it like physics. A small force applied consistently can move massive objects, or like biology. One seed, planted and nourished, becomes a towering tree. Or chemistry. One molecule can trigger a chain reaction. Knowledge works the same way. One verse becomes a catalyst, a spark that ignites thought and change. Take this example. We made from water every living thing. Then will they not believe? Surah Al-Anbiya 21:30. One verse, less than 20 words. Yet in it there is cosmology, biology, and philosophy. Cosmology, because it hints at the beginning of the universe, once a single entity before being separated. Biology, because it reminds us that life, in all its forms, is dependent on water. Philosophy, because it asks a direct question about belief, purpose, and awareness. This single verse has inspired scientists, thinkers, and believers to reflect on the origin of life and the delicate balance of existence. Now, let's consider a verse about human interaction. And speak to people good words. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:83. Imagine taking this one verse and making it your daily guide. You would choose kindness over anger, encouragement over criticism, and patience over frustration. Science backs this up. Studies in psychology show that positive communication reduces stress hormones, increases cooperation, and even improves physical health by lowering blood pressure. One verse changes not just your character but also your biology. This is why one verse a day is powerful. It is not about quantity, but about quality. Our brains learn best with focus and repetition. Neuroscience calls this long-term potentiation, the strengthening of connections between neurons when we revisit one idea consistently. A verse a day becomes a mental anchor. Over time, it shapes habits, beliefs, and actions. And this approach is not random. It reflects the way the Quran itself was revealed. And it is a Quran which we have separated by intervals that you might recite it to the people over a prolonged period, and we have sent it down progressively. Surah Al-Isra 17:106. The wisdom here is profound. Human beings absorb knowledge gradually, one step at a time, one verse at a time. Imagine the impact over years. A single verse each day means 365 verses in a year. That is more than enough to cover entire chapters in depth. In 5 years, you would reflect on nearly 2,000 verses. But more important than numbers is the transformation. Every verse becomes an idea to practice, a lens through which you see the world. Take another example. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Surah Ash-Shar 94:6. One short verse, but powerful enough to change how you face challenges. If you carried just this verse in your heart during difficult times, you would find resilience. Modern psychology confirms this. Hope and optimism directly improve problem-solving and recovery. A verse is not just spiritual, it is practical, logical, and scientific in its effect. Or consider this. Indeed, the creation of the heavens and the earth is greater than the creation of mankind, but most of the people do not know. Surah Ghafir 40:57. With just one verse, your perspective shifts. Suddenly, human problems feel smaller compared to the vast universe. Astronomy, cosmology, and physics confirm how incomprehensibly vast the universe is compared to us. And yet, here we are, given awareness to reflect on it. One verse brings humility, wonder, and perspective. One verse a day is also sustainable. In a world full of distractions where attention spans are shrinking, this method fits perfectly. You don't need an hour. You just need a few minutes of reflection. Instead of scrolling endlessly through social media, imagine dedicating that time to one verse. The return on investment is infinitely greater. Think of it like exercise. A single push-up may feel small, but if you do it every day, the effect compounds. One verse is a spiritual exercise. It trains the mind to reflect, the heart to feel, and the soul to grow stronger. The Quran describes itself as light. And what does light do? Even the smallest light removes darkness. Even the smallest spark can start a fire. In the same way, one verse each day is enough to illuminate your path. Knowledge grows slowly but surely. Rivers are made drop by drop. Journeys are completed step by step. And hearts are changed verse by verse. One verse a day. Small steps, big change.